Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the class today. Apologies that we can't go live onto Facebook, so this is a recording for everybody. Not good at technical, we're really struggling, but we'll sort it out as soon as we can. So welcome to this is our fourth week of our beginners Pilates. We're actually moving it on quite a little bit this morning, so I hope you enjoy the class. Okay, let's start as we always do with a couple of nice breaths in. So feet hip distance apart. If you're in doubt, 2 fists between your big toes will give you an idea. Second and third toe facing forward. Feet, knees and hips are always in line. Okay, so not knees coming out, hips are in line. We're just going to take a couple of nice deep breaths in. So as you breathe in, reach towards the ceiling. Take your gaze towards those fingertips and exhale. Let's go again, deep breath in. Take that gaze out, so grow nice and tall, having a lovely stretch. And exhale. And the last one. Deep breath in, reaching up, and exhale. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to start to warm things up. So we're going to start with some shoulder shrugs. Really, really simple exercise. Good one when you're sitting at your desk or just during the day. If you feel a little bit stressed, up and down. Strengthening through the shoulder blades as well. So open out through the chest, so don't curl forward. Open out through the chest, nice and long through the neck. Okay. Then we're going to take it into shoulder rolls. And if you want to, take your hands onto your shoulders and drawing circles with your elbows. Keep the rest of your body still. So always maintaining control. And then change direction. Get nice and long through the neck. And release. Okay, take those feet nice and wide. Turn the feet out, and you're going to track the knees are coming over the feet. So to start with, we're just going to take the weight from side to side. Nice, keep that chest up. So we're not dipping forwards. Sometimes we do, but today we're not. Just watch those knees, really protect the knees so you're opening out. I'm just using my hands to dictate which way you go, and you don't have to do that. Nice and tall through the spine, and when you're ready, start to bring some arm circles into it. So we're warming up through those shoulders, a little bit through the obliques as well. Some nice rotation starting through the spine and really working into the hips, knees and ankles. Good old-fashioned exercise. That's a good one. Try to get that lunge a little bit deeper. And one more. Fantastic. Okay. I'm going to turn around just because I want to use my mat. It's slippery on this floor. Put your hands onto your hips. What I want you to do is take a step forward, back, and reverse, and back. Keep the chest up, forwards, in, step back, taking that knee back towards the floor, back to standing. So we're switching the core on, as well as waking up through the knees, hips, and the ankles. That concentration needed as well. Don't forget to breathe. If you are really wobbly, then don't take the lunge quite so far. Try and keep those hips level. We have 2 more on this side. You can actually do this without stopping in the middle and coming all the way back. So give it a go. Change side. So we're coming forward, back, and reverse. You might find you better one side than the other. Push through that front heel, and then knee towards the floor at the back. So early in the class, this one takes a bit of work. Keep that posture in line. And if those muscles are a little bit asleep, 2 more. And the last one. Okay, right, working through these hips again, we're going to come into curtsies. So taking one foot behind, bending those knees, opening out through the hips and back. Pretend you're in those ballet classes when you were little. Really good one to work through the hips. Many people can flex forward, but actually as soon as you open out, find it quite difficult. Horse riders seem to really struggle when we're doing any exercise like this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. Okay, bow and arrow arms. Put those arms forward at chest height. Remember this one, we're drawing back with one elbow. Take your gaze towards that elbow, and then forwards, and change sides. Okay, when you're ready and you're doing this, you can raise one leg, so you rotate towards the bent leg, come standing tall, and change sides. It's actually easier off your mat. Hard to get that balance sometimes on a mat. Again, don't forget to breathe, so breathing out on the exertion as you engage in the core, back to standing. Nice and tall through the neck. So we're really switching that core on. 3, 2, and 1, and release. Okay, right, we're going to transfer from standing down onto the mat. So we're going to do our roll down. So let's just go through the breathing and the posture to start with. So relax through the tummy muscles. So really relax here. Feet to hip distance apart. Soften the knees, so don't lock the knees out. Give those hips a little bit of a tilt. And find that midway point between that forwards and that backwards. Grow the spine, so create a gap between the top of the hips and the bottom of the rib cage. Take the shoulders away from the ears. Now breathing in through the nose, push the air to the bottom of the lungs and feel the rib cage expand, and feel the tummy expand as the diaphragm lowers. And as you exhale, draw up to the pelvic floor and engage the core. And we're going to take the chin to your chest, and we're going to start that roll down. So one vertebrae at a time, tipping forward. The weight of the hips is behind the heels. Keep the hips, knees, and ankles level, all the way into that forward fold. Hold it there. Breath in. And as you breathe out, draw up to that pelvic floor, so you're stabilizing the hips and the spine. Come back to standing. Reach back in the spine, one vertebrae at a time. And the head is the last thing to come up. Take those shoulders up, back, and down. Standing nice and tall. Let's go again. Breath in. Breathe out. Chin to chest. And off we go. So we're decompressing the spine. We're working through the hips. We're working into the hamstrings as well. Relax through the arms. Relax through the neck. See if you can get any closer to the floor. Breath in. As you breathe out, reconnect. And we're coming up, standing. Really lovely one to do first thing in the morning. Let's go again. Breath in. Breathe out. That chin to chest first. Get that good stretch through the neck. And then one vertebrae at a time. Really exaggerate that movement. And all the way into that forward fold. Now hold that there if you can. Raise the tailbone towards the ceiling a little bit and we'll get that extra stretch. And then release. Okay, we're going to come into plank. We're going to walk forward with our hands, keeping the hips as still as you can. So not swinging from side to side. If you can't get to plank, just come onto your hands and knees. But we'll attempt a new move. So drop the hips down, shoulders over the wrists, nice and long through the neck. Hold it there, not for long. And we're going to come to puppy. So you're taking your tailbone back towards your heels, push through your hands. Keep those hips and knees level. And then slowly coming back to plank. So lots of control involved. Switch that core on. When you're still moving, you switch your core on. Expand your rib cage to the back and through the side. Takes a little bit of practice. Let's go back again. Push through the hands, open out through the shoulder joint, and slowly to plank. And the last one. Tailbone towards the heels, and then slowly forwards into that plank. And come down onto all fours. Right, so we're going to thread the needle once we've done our side cat, happy cat. So just a reminder of this one, so as we're breathing in, we're curling the spine towards the ceiling. Think about curling the spine from the bottom, not just from the shoulders. Drop the head down, and as you exhale, chest comes towards the mat, head comes up, still pushing through these hands. You're not sinking into the shoulders, and let's go again, breath in. And breathing out. One more. And exhale. Okay, this time you're breathing in, curling up. Now take the tailbone back towards the heel, still with that curled up spine. Hands can be behind your back, grasp them if you can, clasp them. Raise those hips forward, open out through the hips, and then open out through the chest and take the gaze up. Really lovely stretch through the hips, through the shoulders. Slowly back down. And forward. And up to all fours position. So we're going to thread the needle from here. So there's various ways of doing it. So we're just going to open out on all fours, scoot through, really rotate through the top of the spine. And you can do it with one leg extended behind. I've got my spinal fusion, so for me, this is a much better position to be in. Or you can do it with your leg raised, so you're challenging that core. And just to confuse things even more, if you do have a Pilates ball, and you could get one for the next week, that would be brilliant. If you hold it into your hand, reach up, make sure you can still see it in your eye line, so you're not going too far back. Put it onto the floor, take the back of your hand onto the ball, push it through, and you get a really good rotation. So we're going for 3 each side. I'm just going to do one more on this side. And I use my ball for that. Don't worry if you don't have a ball, you can do it without. But if you can grab one, they're from Amazon about $5.99, but they are brilliant little tools to use in Pilates. So I'm just going to make sure I'm not lopsided today. Pushing that through, bend that elbow that's supporting arm, really rotate through the top of the spine. Pushing through. So we're mobilizing the spine, working into the hips. And the last one. And release. Okay, take that ball to one side. We're going to come into some knee hovers. So this is a really good practice for the core. So what I want you to do is curl your toes under. Make sure those shoulders are over the wrists, nice and long through the neck. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, raise the knees off the floor by pushing through the hands and hold it there for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower back towards the mat. Take a breath and let's go again. Breath in, breathe out, connect with that core and raise. Carry on breathing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower. We use the breath to recall the correct muscles. Just in case you're wondering, let's do again. Breath in. And as you breathe out, push through the hands, raise the knees. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly lower. Okay, just take a stretch. And forward, just into a child's pose. Just give those wrists a little bit of a rest. If you've got a knee injury, keep the bottom in the air, so you're a sleeping baby. But if anybody else, take your tailbone back towards your heels, open out through the chest, and just hold it there. Lovely stretch. And then back up to all fours. Okay, from here, onto that all fours position. We're actually going to take ourselves off centre and we're going to come into a side plank. So I'll give you various levels to this. Make sure these toes, their feet are flat onto the floor. So onto all fours, you're going to rotate and reach. Hold it there. So you open out to the chest. You should still be able to see your fingers here. Back to all fours and to the other side. So we're using the core coordination as well. Nice mobility. Now, if you want to take it up a level, you can raise this top leg. What I'm looking for is control, not speed. Okay, if you want, if we've got advanced people in, you can come into a full plank and rotate. And rotate. Okay, one more. And release. Fantastic. Okay, right. We're going to come back into that side plank. I'm just going to do some nice leg raises. So I'll give you various levels to this as well. So if you just come straight into that side plank position here with your hands down here. And what we're going to do is leg raises here. We're going for 10 of these. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Now this top hand, as if we're going to thread the needle, and back. So taking it through, and back. So you should feel that into your glutes. We're working into the obliques. Let's go for 2 more. And the last one. Okay, and let's change sides. So into that side plank, leg out to the side, slowly lower to the floor, reach up towards the ceiling, open out through the hips, open out through the shoulders, and we're going for leg raises here. Five more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, that's top hand. You're going to scoop it through. Try not to give grip with that foot underneath. So we're working into the obliques. 2 more. And the last one. And release. Fantastic. Okay. Come up to sitting. Now some nice little bit of stretching before we take our work onto the mat. So into straddle sit. If you struggle in this position, put a folded towel or a cushion underneath your bottom. What I want you to do is sit onto your sitting bones, the bony part of your bottom, and make sure they're level. You have to have a little bit of a check. Knees are coming towards the ceiling, nice and tall through the spine. So it's not here. If you're here, you're struggling with your hips. So you need to be sitting nice and tall. Float those arms out to the side, and we're just going to do side reaches. So it's a hinge from the hips. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, come to the center. We're going to walk the hands forward. Now, if you've got a ball, you can do this with a ball. Hands on top of the ball, push the ball forward, drop the head and chest down. Push on the ball to come back to sitting. But if you haven't got a ball, absolutely fine. Walk your hands forward Drop that head down, so reach as far as you can, and then all the way back onto those sitting bones, and let's go again. Reaching forwards, dropping that head, reaching back. So you'll feel that stretch to the inner thigh. Again, we're working through the hips and also the fascia at the back. So that's what connects everything at the back. Give it a good stretch. Last one. And release. Okay, onto your bottom, legs extended. Float those arms forward, and what we're going to do is come into a forward fold, a lovely stretch. Back to sitting, and then C-curl off the spine, which we have done the last couple of weeks. You can C-curl and roll all the way to the mat. Put some tension in your legs, so your legs don't raise up. Chin away from the chest, really slowly, all the way down. Take those arms up above your head and go into a full body stretch. And release. Okay, slowly bring those knees towards your bottom. So while you're here, just check that those hips are level on the mat, that you are long on the mat in your spine. So at the moment, mine's a bit crunched up. If I raise up onto my elbows, I can really stretch that spine and long the mat. Make sure the shoulder blades are level on the mat and nice and long through the neck as well. So we're going to go into our clock. So take your hands onto your tummy, thumbs towards your tummy button, fingers towards your pubic bone, and just start to rock backwards and forwards. So as if you've got an imaginary marble and you're rolling it towards 12 and then 6 o'clock. Relax through the neck and through the shoulders. Just start to increase that movement because we will be coming up into shoulder bridge shortly, so I just want you to warm up in this area. Okay, start to raise that tailbone off the floor, pushing through the heels and squeezing the glutes. Okay, now come back to rest. So you're balancing that marble in the middle of the clock face, and a reminder you should have a gap between your back and the mat. And so you've got nice neutral spine. Now, take the marble from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So it's a sideways movement. You'll start to lift one hip up. Try and keep those knees still, so it's just a movement from the hips. You can put the ball in between your knees when you're doing this, if you think your knees are wobbling from side to side. So I just want the movement from the hips, not from the legs. Okay, now settle that off again. Okay, float the arms above the chest. What we're going to do is take a breath in, and as you breathe out, tip that pelvis towards 12 o'clock. Heel the spine off the mat, push through the heels, squeeze the glutes, raise it up. If you feel any pressure in your neck, drop your chest down. So your knees, hips, and shoulders should be in line, and then slowly all the way back to the mat. Let's go again, breath in. Breathe out, taking that pelvis, peeling it off the spine. So you're strengthening through the glutes, through the back line. We've got hip stability and we've got shoulder stability. So carry on with this in your own time. There's 3 more of these. See if you can raise those hips any higher. Hips need to be level. If you want to, put your hands onto your hips just to check. If you've got any lower back problems and you're struggling to tip the pelvis in that way, you can actually do straight up lifts instead of curling through the spine. Okay, one more. And slowly lower. Okay, take those arms up and over your head. Actually, bring them into a ball. Sorry, apologies. Bring your knees into your chest. Hold the knees into your chest. Okay, as you lower your feet towards the floor, take your arm over your head. And at the same time, we're going to raise these hips up into that shoulder bridge. Okay, as we lower the back, we're going to come back into that ball, and the arms come down by the side. If you want to, you can raise the head and shoulders off the mat. Slowly lower, and as the arms come up and over, we're raising into that bridge. So a full body workout. Remember to keep this chest down. Slowly down to the mat, Arms are coming up and over as the knees come into the chest, into that ball. If you struggle getting your head and shoulders off the mat, you can keep them on the floor. Slowly lower those feet. If you're struggling with this, stick to the shoulder bridges that we were just doing. But here we're working full into the shoulders. This is a really lovely exercise. You can keep perfecting it the more that you do it. You can really be aware of what's happening with your body. And up, mobilizing through the spine, squeeze those glutes. And we go for one more. Into that nice ball, head and shoulders off, keep the chin away from the chest. Slowly lower, raising those hips. And all the way down to the mat. Okay, float those arms above the chest, feet hip distance apart. Take two hands in one direction and drop the knees in the other direction. Pushing those knees, not forcing them, just gently pushing them down to the floor. Using the core, bring the knees up and over, so pulling on your back and to the other side. So really mobilizing through the hips, nice rotation through the spine. Again, if you have lower back problems, this is a lovely one to do first thing in the morning. Very gently. Let's go for two more. And the last one. And release. Okay, keep those feet onto the floor. Now, last week we practiced coming into tabletop, so we're going to do that again. Hands onto the floor for a little bit of stability. Raise one knee up to 90 degrees. And bring the second to join it. Now, just a reminder, if you feel your tummy popping up so that your abdominal muscles have kicked in, take your feet back down and try again. And try and draw up through the pelvic floor so you engage in the core. Because otherwise, what you're going to do is, if your abs are kicking in, you're really going to pull on your back as well. So again, I've got that neutral spine in this position, hands to the side. So we're going into toe taps. Now, if you're struggling with this, so if you're okay with this, just carry on. If you're struggling, what I want you to do is raise one knee and then the other, keeping those hips level and not imprinting the spine onto the mat. But if you can do it, toe taps here, brilliant. Okay, if you're feeling confident, float those arms above your chest, nice and long through the neck. And remember, if you toe tap in, you can toe tap away further to actually make it a little bit harder. If it's pulling on your back, take it back to the original ones. If you want to, you can opposite hand to foot, extending away. Again, keeping those hips level, neutral spine, shoulders, blades remain on the mat. I'm not rocking from side to side, nice and long through the neck. Anything that's opposite arm to leg, brilliant for those brain connections. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, just hug those knees into your chest for a moment. Remember, if you're struggling with these exercises, bring your knees into your chest just for some release and then start again. So we're going to stay in tabletop position. This time what we're going to do is some scoops with the foot. So as if you're dipping your toe in the water, extending away and bringing it back to tabletop and change sides. So it's like a dip in the water, flick and back. So we're working into that leg a little bit more, keeping these hips level, nice and long through the spine and through the neck. Lots of control, working through the abs. Don't forget to breathe. Again, if you do struggle with these, you can keep one foot on the floor, scoop, and change your legs. But the aim is stay in tabletop. Keep your arms nice and wide for stability. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And okay, hug those knees back into the chest and just rock from side to side. Okay, right. Hug one knee into your chest, extend the other leg away, open up through these hip flexors. So we do this a lot because it's one of my favourite. Opposite hand to knee, other hand out to the side. Take that knee up and across the body. Keep those shoulders on the mat and the head on the mat. Just gently with this hand, pressing the knee down towards the floor. So you've got some great rotation through the spine. Hold it there. Breath in. And as you breathe out, just relax that spine as you go to the floor a little bit closer. And release. Okay, change legs. Hug that knee into your body. Opposite hand to leg. Other hand out to the side. Up and over. Gaze towards the ceiling. Gently press this knee towards the mat. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, relax through this leg and take it closer to the mat. And release. Okay, roll onto your tummy. Look how this way. Let's roll onto your tummy. Again, check your alignment when you're down here. So, hips level on the mat. And what I want you to do is bring that tummy off the floor. So push the pubic bone into the mat and raise the tummy off the floor. So you actually stay connected. So we're not sinking into the mat here. Extend those arms forward and take the forehead towards the mat. Really reach away. What I want you to do is take a breath in. And as you breathe out, raise opposite hand to leg and slowly lower. And change side. So hips stay level with the floor. And the same with the shoulders. Aim to get that thigh off the floor. Really reach away, so it's not a crunch backwards. Reach away with the toes, reach away with the fingers, nice and long through the spine. Keep that forehead towards the mat, so we're long through the neck as well. Careful not to rock from side to side. So you're just working from the hip and from the shoulder. The main part of your body should remain still. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. Bring your hands in and put your forehead onto your hands. And we're just going to slowly, actually flex your feet, bring one heel towards your bottom and extend away. But stay connected with the rest of your body. So it's not just a flick in, it's nice and controlled. Feel that squeeze into those top halves of your leg, into your glutes, keeping the hips as level as you can. So hips should stay on the mat. Nice and long through the neck. And raise that tummy off the floor. Or think about raising that tummy off the floor. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Okay, take the hands to the sides of your chest. Push yourself back into that child's pose. So you're getting a lovely stretch. And then we're going to hinge forward from the hips, and we're going to drop the hips towards the mat. Now, if you've got lower back problems, don't take this very far, but if you can, take the hips towards the mat, raise that head up, push through these supporting hands, and then all the way back, very slowly. So this is child's pose into cobra. Make sure you push through these hands, raise that head forwards and upwards, drop those hips towards the floor. And working through the hips, working through the spine. I'd say if you've got lower back problems, just take it this far, don't drop it all the way down. Let's go for 2 more. And the last one. Back towards the child's pose. What I want you to do, this is nice stretching now. You're going to bring the foot to the outside of your hands. I've got 2 hands on the mat, and take that weight forward. Feel that stretch. Okay. Rotate towards the bent leg, the opposite hand to foot on the floor, and rotate. So you should feel this through the hips, to the top half of the spine as well. Hands to the mat. Now extend that front leg. Walk your hands back. Feel that stretch. If you want to put them either hand with your foot, that's absolutely fine. And then if you've got sciatica, don't do this. But if you haven't, raise that toe up. If you've got sciatica, if you do, stretch your foot with a bent leg. You're not overextending. Drop that chest towards the knee and release. Okay, so into that child's pose position, and then coming forward, take that foot to the outside of the hand, drop those hips, take that weight forward, feel that inner thigh stretch. Opposite hand to foot on the floor, rotate towards the bent leg, and reaching up towards the ceiling. And hands, you can do either side of the foot if you want. Take that tailbone back, extend that front leg, drop the chest towards the knee, drop the head towards the knee. And if you can, raise that toe up, feel that real stretch through those hamstrings. Well, we don't need to tell you that, do I? And release. Okay, let's just finish off. Okay, so hands onto the floor, curl the toes under, raise the hips up to down dog. Push through the hands, take the heels back towards the floor, and then pedal out the feet. So alternate heels towards the mat. Try to keep the shoulders as still as you can. And both heels towards the mat. Walk your hands back towards your feet and into that forward fold. Now bend your knees a little bit more than we normally do, and just hang in this position. So relax through the neck, relax through the shoulders, and then come up slightly to a flat back. Still with those legs bent, nice and long through the neck. Float those arms down and just draw some circles with those hands in opposite directions. So really relax through the shoulders. And now change direction. Okay, now into the marching arms. Keeping the body as still as you can. So it's just a movement from the shoulders, nice and long through the neck. I know it looks strange, but it is a really lovely release. And then monkey arms from side to side. But keep the rest of the body still. Just relax through those arms. And back to rest. Okay, hands onto the top of your thighs, not onto your knees. Now curl up through the spine. Head's the last thing to come up. Take those shoulders up, back and down, and release. Fantastic. Okay, new move for you. Take your legs nice and wide. I'm just going to come into a squat. Push those knees over. Now tip forward, stick your bottom out, tip forward. Hands towards the floor, and curl up through the spine to come up to standing. Let's do that again. So a deep squat, knees track over the feet, hip forward, feel this into your hips, it's lovely. Hands onto the floor, curl up through the spine. And let's go again. Deep squat. Forward, so lovely release through the hips, hands, and up. Let's go, fantastic. Okay, walk those feet in. So just to finish off, we're just going to check how your balance is coming on. So what we want to do is just going to stand on one leg, keep those hips nice and level, and raise that knee up. And we're just going to hold. Now, if you're in a clear space, we're going to do this and close our eyes. You can keep the toe on the floor if you want to. We're going to count to 10 and see how many seconds you can do on each side. So when you're ready, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. And good one side, rubbish there the other side. Set yourselves up, plant that foot firmly on the floor. If you're unsure, keep your toe on the floor. But if you can raise it off the floor, keep these hips level. When you're ready, close the eyes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Okay, let's just work into this neck. Drop the chin to the chest. Hold it there. Don't force anything, let the weight of the head come forward and rotate the head so the ear comes to the shoulder. And then round to the other side. Just a lovely one to finish off. Keep these shoulders nice and low. And one more. And then back to the center. Okay, slowly raise that head forward. Now rotate, look over one shoulder. Back to the center. And the other side. Again, don't force anything. Feel that tension, feel that resistance, and just push a little bit more. And back. Okay, one more each side. And back to the center. Fantastic. All right, let's finish off with a couple of deep breaths. So breathing in and reaching up, growing nice and tall. Should feel so much taller. And exhale, spread those fingers really wide. And again, deep breath in. Reaching up. And exhale. And the last one, deep breath in. Reaching up. And exhale. So I hope you enjoyed that class. Any questions on anything, or if anybody's got any injuries they're struggling with, please message me. I'm more than happy to help. If not, have a lovely weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next week.